My name's Justin McCabe for Portage La Prairie. I'm passionate about motocross. So these are the best of the best in the world, and I'm about 25 years older than my next competitor. Why are you doing this, and what's it about, and who's it for? And, you know, I have a family and, you know, a home and a business to run, and why are we doing these things? My family and my wife has been a supporter of myself and all the crazy antics that I've taken on, I would say, over the last 34 years.
Yeah, we're always on some kind of, I think, crazy journey with either motocross or snow bike now. You know, it just kind of seems normal, and the kids just kind of roll with it. And when it's like, okay, your dad's going to do this now, right? We're heading in this direction. They're like, okay, what can we do? My career started back when I was 13 in 1984, racing mini bikes. I had a friend of mine say, you know, you're a pretty good rider on a dirt bike. You know, you should come and race. I was 12 at the time, so it really didn't mean anything, but that was kind of nice that somebody had said that about me. And I got home and we ended up getting a bike.
His mom and dad went to extremes to help him from a very young age. They bought him bikes. They traveled all over the country with him. He's had a lot of support along the way, but he worked very hard.
1984, went through the season, did pretty decent. Came back in 85, won the Manitoba Championship. 1986, won the Manitoba Championship on 80s. From there, I thought, you know, okay, so I've done this in Manitoba. I did it again in 1987 in two classes, 125 and 250. And then I set my sights on a Canadian national title. And I went down to Melita and I was able to clinch the Canadian national title. So that was amazing. I mean, I haven't been able to afford to continue to do this every year because it's a very financially taxing sport. However, when you're passionate about it, you find a way.
Shortly after Andrea and Justin were married, Justin went off to Europe to race motocross and left his bride here in Manitoba. And that didn't please us a lot.
I don't really recall butting heads with them about me leaving because I was probably young and immature and stubborn, and you don't get to a high level of sport by doing everything that everybody else wants you to do. So I set my sights on what I wanted to do, and everything else was just noise.
My dad was racing dirt bikes. I think he was doing Worlds in Czechoslovakia. And my mom was pregnant with me.
I was scheduled to race the Czech Nationals over there. Ended up signing a deal with KTM to race the World Championships.
Unfortunately, he was in a terrible crash over there. A bike came over a jump and landed on top of his bike.
He broke his hip and his neck, and then, well, I think he was over there for a while. And he came back with my name, and my name is Zara, and Czech it means daughter.
So he came home a little earlier than expected and settled down, got a job, and started taking care of his wife. So that made us a little happier.
I had to take a step back and come back home and regroup and really enjoy my family. I took 10 years off. I was depressed.
He always had a dirt bike in the garage, or he was fixing someone else's dirt bike, or people would come over with dirt bikes. You could tell that he really wanted to ride again.
I went to go buy a jet boat. I came home with a motorcycle. It wasn't gonna work very well on the water.
But this time he went like all out. He went and like got all these special rims. Everything was color coordinated, and he was like being really serious about it. You know, we're like going to the races starting tomorrow. You know, I'm like, oh, great.
I went to the motocross track and I signed in as a pro, not having been on a bike for 10 years.
I'm like a teenager, and I just want to go hang out with my friends, and I'm going to the races, right? Then I went to the first race, and I was like, this is actually cool. My dad's winning. Like, this is fun, you know? He hasn't been in the scene forever, and then you get to see all these people that he used to ride with, and he's beating them. And then he's beating all the kids that are my age.
So I loaded up this bike that was 3 years older than anyone else's bike. It had yellow plates on it. In the pro class, you register with black and white plates. I line up beside the guy that has a number 1 plate on it. So I follow him out of the gate because I haven't been to the track in 10 years, get to know the track. Comes into a corner and he brake checks me. And I hit the back of him. I thought, what are you doing? So I go up and I said, hey man, I said, so what's with brake checking a guy in practice? Oh, well then you should line up with the class that you're actually gonna race in, was his comment to me. I said, I've got yellow plates on, but I'll see you at the line because you know what, we're gonna be in the same class. I put my foot down, you off, I'm gonna go train. The following year, plus 25, age class and pro class, I was on the top box. Super guys, we joke about it a little bit in the pits now, but thanks for setting me off, fellas.
So what exactly is a snow bike? The hyperactive sport of snow bike cross is like a winter version of motocross, allowing athletes to race year-round. You remove the front wheel on a traditional dirt bike and replace it with a ski. The rear wheel is replaced with a single snow track.
Basically what you do to put this together is pull out this one axle right here, and these 4 bolts. This system slips off and you put your tire in. As far as the back end, there's 1 axle, as well as your shock mount and your brake that you have to bleed. Yeah, it's pretty amazing where you can go with these things. It's certainly not a snowmobile. It all started actually with a Facebook friend request. He said, you should come out to BC and race snow bikes. I said, Derek, I've never even seen a snow bike. I ordered a kit and brought it home, bolted it onto my bike, and drove 22 hours out west to go and race the Canadian Nationals. So the first year in, I was able to finish up behind Cody Matichuk and Brock Hoyer in the pro class. So these 2 guys are both X Games gold medalists. And for me to be able to get in there and have some fun, mix it up with them, and give them a little bit of competition is a highlight of my career. All right, rock and roll. Oh, safety first, we're extreme sports, right? Okay, the icon of course the prairie, which is the bridge, and that jet over there, the windmill. We're gonna head off to Portage Sandhills. With that sun out, it's not too bad. November 15th, I'd gone down to try and qualify for the X Games. I was there 2 weeks prior to that, you know, doing some training and riding and getting used to the facility and stuff, and I felt really good.
On his last race, he said, well, this will probably be my last official race as a, you know, in snowcross. And I kind of went, So then, of course, he didn't qualify, and we're driving away, and he said, yeah, that's it. I think I'm done.
It upsets me to see him down sometimes, like it does, but I mean, we warned him. We said, you know, like you weren't ready for this.
I went out and I did my moto. I believe it was top 5, if I'm not mistaken, that transferred. I ended up 7th. So I didn't have enough accumulated points to be able to, you know, qualify for X under those guidelines.
We just weren't prepared. We didn't start early enough.
And then he was like, I'm not doing this again. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, I'm not gonna try for the X Games again.
I'm not a real depressed guy, but I wasn't certainly happy with my results.
The family's better when we're all working towards something.
Here's a lady that has given her life to our family to support what I do.
They're top priority too, so it's a challenge as to where are you doing some of this stuff and still following and chasing your dreams and then enjoying your family.
Yeah, we haven't always agreed, but he's always been a good husband to my daughter and a great father to my granddaughters.
I wasn't as focused as I should have been. We weren't really concentrating on our eating, the training. So it kind of all has to come together. It has to come together at the right time for it all to work.
She's always been there for me for this stuff. Part of the conversation recently is, you know, I need to support her in what she loves and is passionate about.
The challenge is, what is that?
I really think that, you know, a team is where you can support each other.
You do have to pursue your passion, and he's still chasing his dream.
I would like to come back. I mean, I can't give you a guaranteed answer right now, but I certainly would like to come back, but I just don't know what the future holds.
It's very important to recognize my family for, you know, what they're doing. Yeah, it's just, yeah. And yeah, I don't realize it sometimes because I just take it for granted.
It's my birthday party. Yeah, and you guys are here filming. It's okay. I okayed it. He asked me, so yeah, don't worry. So it's my birthday, so everyone's here celebrating basically, and we're all gonna have dinner and a few drinks. I feel like I'm like the bro of the pit crew. I'm like, me and my dad are like best friends, right? So, yeah, I'm so proud of him. He's so awesome. Sorry, I'm getting really emotional.
So we all have to come together, all of us, even the kids, because we do sacrifice certain things to, you know, do this kind of thing, right?
We do our best to be supportive. He gets very stressed out about things, or, you know, doesn't want to talk about doing it, but we all know he wants to do it. So that takes a little bit of a strain on all of us because we can see that he's anxious about it and just won't open up.
He just goes after things. And it always amazes me that he has this ability to do these things, and I see that he can, so I just think, okay, let's go, let's do it.
What else do you need?
Big bad beans. That's it.
Oh yeah, you still... Okay. How does he manage to afford to do this? Yeah. That's a great question, because I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, I have sleepless nights.
He buys and sells a lot of things to be able to pay for this.
It's just about that little extra. If I have to spend $1,000, somebody gives me $100 off, that's a big deal to me. It helps me out to get to the next level. The first thing I do is I look after my clients with Sun Life Financial and put financial protection in place for clients that care.
He makes his own hours. He works as much as he wants to work, and he'll call people and be like, hey, like I'm going to the X Games. Do you want to sponsor me to go to the X Games? And then he gets things out of like that way as well, right? There's things that you have to be able to do to afford to do this, and like he somehow manages to do it every time, and I don't know how.
Justin's a great promoter of Portage La Prairie. He's a member of the Lions Club. He's supported the United Way here in town. Well, the Lions Club is a fraternal order of men who do things to benefit the community. They raise money for different charities and so on.
It's a Lions Club International that we're a part of, and these guys supported us with a little bit of funding. We've created what's called a little mini stick rink here, and can't thank PCU Centre enough for their support in the space so that we can give back to the kids and young families that want to progress themselves. And I think this is just a great way to, elevate that with these young kids, and they've seen what Portage has done and the many championships that they've won with the Terriers, and great place to enjoy a little bit of mini stick. We're here to raise some money for Shane Hartle and his foundation, and you can see that we've got great track conditions today, and it's great that Brett's allowing us to come out here and put something like this on to raise some funds for somebody in need.
Well, I got a call from a few of my buddies who wanted to put on a ride day on Thursday morning, and I said, well, when did you want to do that? And they said, how about Sunday? So I said, Sunday's available to me, so I hopped in the car and we drove all the way out here along with all these people, and they're here raising money for our First Steps Wellness Center, spinal cord injury center we're opening in Winnipeg.
Shane Hartle's a moto friend of ours. He was in moto years ago when I was in it. He took a brief break and decided to get back into it a couple years back. And unfortunately, he had a bad accident, which left him paralyzed from the waist down.
We were riding in Morden about 3 years ago, and I came up a little short on a double, and the track was soft and ended up kicking me over the handlebars. And when I went over, my head went into the ground and my feet kind of came over the wrong way, and I broke my T7. So yeah, that was a pretty big day. When I first got hurt, the amount of support that I got from everybody in the community was, yeah, it was really overwhelming. I mean, you don't really realize how many people there are that care, and yeah, I mean, it's not something you ever want to go through, but to have had the support that I had was, it certainly made it a lot easier. We're probably 90% spinal cord injury. So we focus on doing exercise therapy, and we primarily focus on working on the muscles below a person's break line. So wherever it is their injury is, we try to strengthen the muscles below that break. You can't come here with the expectation that you're going to necessarily walk out of here. But what we try to do is we try to strengthen people's muscles in a way that, like for example, for me, because I'm broken quite high in my chest, we focus on working on everything that's below my break. So I'm primarily working on strengthening my core, increasing my stability, just giving me a better base to work from.
I'm not out there to injure anybody, and I certainly don't want to get injured. And there is a lot of risk involved as far as the danger of the sport. Being a financial advisor, I'm able to also offer extreme sport coverage, which is pretty rare.
For me, it was relatively inexpensive, right? I needed a chair, I needed a ramp in my house, a couple little things, but if I'd have known more about this prior, obviously, I bought insurance for in case I break an ankle.
Yes.
So
it's tricky for me as an advisor, right? So when am I bugging somebody, and when am I actually offering them a solution that they require? But yours is an extreme situation. Right. You're a young guy, and now you've got possibly 45 years plus to have to do what you're doing. And so where does that funding come from? It hit me pretty hard when I walked in the door. Right? Yeah. And that's when I realized, you and I had known each other, and of course I come and did the funding thing with Brett's Place and stuff, and it was just kind of, I'm here for moto, and Shane's here, and it's, kind of fun, and we're here for a reason, but it didn't hit me till I walked in here. Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay. My younger brother's deaf and blind, so I have a place for, people that maybe aren't able to do things as much as somebody else, so it's just, when I can see what you're going through and then what your clients are going through, it's pretty meaningful.
That thing fires in sequence to help you pedal the bike. For sure. And it uses your own muscle strength. Unfortunately, our rate is still quite high. So we're $90 an hour for therapy for our clients, but at the very least, you don't have to be out of province to get this type of therapy anymore. The first round of fundraising that was done was primarily towards our startup costs. So the money that was raised at the motocross event and some of the other events that we've had, is crucial to us getting this place up and running. Going forward, that fundraising effort is going to go towards reducing the cost of the therapy. So our goal is to bring in enough money every year to try to bring that $90 an hour down to 60 or 50, depending on how much support we can get.
I'm fortunate that I've had my health. I have had a titanium hip replacement. I broke my femoral bone in Czechoslovakia. I have bone chips in my neck. I broke both my shoulders and both my ankles. It's just part of the sport, and I'm okay with that.
He broke his hip and his neck.
He wound up having a rod put in his leg and being flown by helicopter to a hospital.
Do I worry about the risk that's involved? Honestly, no. So many kids just get hurt because they're doing something stupid and don't know how to read the track properly or whatever. He's been doing this for so long. Like, I think that he'll be fine.
I don't really worry about him so much on the snow bike. It doesn't seem as dangerous to me. Motocross is a little bit more dangerous to me. That one I worry about a little bit.
I try not to worry about major risks just because then it's constantly on my mind.
We don't want that taken to the line. I'm gonna crash, or my friend broke his back, or no, that's not how you enter the race. You go to the line, pray for forgiveness, accept the challenges you've had, and throttle down.
You do have to pursue your passion, and there are consequences sometimes, and you do everything you can to minimize the consequences by being as fit as he is and as strong as he is. You take a lot of the ifs out of the equation.
The sport's dangerous if you're not physically prepared.
Last year for the X Games, he just kind of decided on a whim, like, hey, let's try.
That was very, like, short notice. What have you done to prepare yourself for this? Because then we give him a hard time, because we're like, you're not ready for this yet. Like, you think that you are, but I don't know if you are right at this moment.
So decide to collect the thoughts and just say, okay, well, if you're that passionate about it, believe in yourself, you got some people on your team that believe in you, why not?
When he really wants to do something, he completely puts like all his time and his effort into training and eating well and, you know, like exercising, making sure he's going out on the bike, like everything like that. I think that this time around, like, he has a way better chance at qualifying.
He wants to do it, so he knows he needs to put in the work to do it, which he maybe didn't have 3 months ago.
We've talked about the X Games for quite a few years now. I think now we're ready.
Most guys would train, you know, possibly 3 months prior to an event. I'm an athlete, and I've been a professional athlete for, 25 years in this capacity, and so I have those bones and that structure is there. It's a matter of revigorating it and getting myself back to where I know I can be. I've started now.
I think he'll qualify for the X Games for sure.
I first met Justin, I think it was in Grunthal at a race, and I think he saw us race and he told my dad he wanted to be our trainer. And then ever since then, he's taken us all over the country, all over North America. He's the main reason I'm where I am now.
He was racing in a much higher class than I was when I first started, so I kind of always watched him come up. And you have a tendency to know the guys that are faster than you all the time at the track.
I personally love riding with older guys and somebody who's experienced. You can learn a lot from them. Anything from line choice to diet, they've been around it all. They know what works and what doesn't. If a young guy beats an old guy, then he's starting to get off. But I find if Justin beats me, I'll just let it go, because he's been at it a lot longer than I have, that's for sure.
This is good for me.
Yeah.
I'll be ready for ERX in no time. Now we're talking.
Yeah, so you want to get to about 20 kilometers an hour, and that's what I average during a marathon. Well,
And for how long is your marathon?
2 hours, 10 minutes. Come here.
Okay, you've kicked my ass.
It took me a month to be able to even maintain 14 kilometers an hour.
I should just stay here for 5 days. Forget going down to ERX.
I'll get your heart rate up, eh?
Yeah. Well, Shane, it's been a blast.
So these are the best of the best in the world, and I'm about 25 years older than my next competitor.
He's at every disadvantage to go, except for the fact that he's got heart and he wants to do it.
I think his biggest thing right now about qualifying is he's up against 20-year-olds or like 18-year-olds.
I'm still 40 pounds heavier than most of the other guys, so every 7 pounds in theory is a horsepower, so I've got a negative. That in about 35 years on some of them, so there's a couple negatives in there, but I'm just shooting for the stars.
Motocross is, I'd say it's the most physically demanding sport out there. It's super tough for me to get into shape, and stay in shape is the most hard part. I can't imagine what it's like for Justin. Like he's an old man. He's getting up there.
I mean, there's a whole aspect to that of like, even just age-related things like his knees being bad or whatever, and younger kids don't have that.
I would say I think the numbers for elite athletes, I think 100% of the NFL teams have a chiropractor on staff, and somewhere in the high 70s, NHL, basketball, baseball, they all, you know, most of the top golfers in the world, they have chiropractors on staff. Awesome. Face down. So it's not just about getting rid of the aches and pains, it's about keeping the brain and body communicating, so when you're playing at that elite level, you're able to kind of get everything out of your body that you want. And when there are injuries, if your body's able to heal and repair faster, you're able to get back into the game more readily. So just feeling for areas where there's a lack of normal motion.
There's not many of those, is there, Dave?
With you, I should find areas that are moving. First time I took an x-ray, there was some evidence of a fracture in his spine that I don't think he knew was there. So as we get older, all that stuff comes back to haunt you a little bit. The last time he was in, I was just asking him how do you train for the elevation in Colorado when Winnipeg is basically at sea level? And he said, well, I ride my bike and I wear a mask so I can't breathe. Who does that? You know, people with that kind of dedication, they achieve things that nobody else achieves. So the reason I think it's great that he's doing this is because he's doing things that bring him joy. Whereas a lot of people start quitting those things. You know, he's 47, I'm 50. Loads of people in my age group have stopped doing the things they love. So right now Justin's standing on a vibration plate. So vibration travels very, very well through the spinal cord. Your cerebellum is the part of your brain that recognizes where you are in space. So after the adjustment, we have Justin stand on the vibration plate, so it helps his brain recognize what we just did through the nervous system. So it's his brain that really does all the healing, and we want his brain to recognize everything we just did.
My life kind of revolves around the dirt bikes. It's my full-time job, so I treat that as my number one priority. Is my, eating and the training. I train probably 6 out of 7 days a week. Everything that I do revolves around how well I'll be on the bike the next time. Whether I'm having a rest day or a hard training day. I just met Justin honestly 2 or 3 days ago. The team manager set it all up to where he's going to work with me.
My whole life I've been around the racing scene. I grew up riding dirt bikes around the yard and stuff. I mean, I didn't even have a bicycle, I had a dirt bike with training wheels. It's definitely a community in which I love being a part of. Everyone's always so welcoming, which is nice. It's a huge part of my life, and it always will be.
The mechanic relationship is, you got to trust the person working on your bike. To start the race, you have to have confidence in your bike, and how you have confidence in your bike is how your mechanic repairs it. So if you trust your mechanic, then you feel good when you go to the gate. Justin did a great job and handled everything great this weekend. He hustled to get me to line for the second race. We were just talking about, you know, line choices with what looked good and what was some dry areas on the track, and you know, attacking how to, you know, to preserve the bike for the race, because it's really demanding when it's this muddy. We were just discussing how to stay calm and be smart. He's been around the, you know, the motocross and I'm sure snowmobiling industry a long time, so he's got that, like, you know, he's got experience in his back pocket. I think for him, just getting time on, you know, his machine and being as prepared as possible. Hopefully the weather plays in his factor where he can get some time in the snow.
Yeah, experience is definitely one thing, but he's got, what's the word? He has a mindset that if he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it. I got home really late that night that they were stolen, and the garage door was open. And I'm the one that went and turned the lights off in the garage and closed the door. I didn't realize they were gone. So I think there was 3 boys that took them. So you can see them like walking out with 2 dirt bikes, I think maybe 3, and my mom's bicycle. It was definitely very stressful in the household that day. He started up like a whole page about like protect Portage. So he actually helped like get people's cars back that were stolen, because theft around here is getting really bad.
Yeah, I had a couple of motorcycles go missing here about 3 weeks ago, and then I had some motor issues, so to be on the bike 6 times by July, that's not too good in my eyes as far as being in shape, but I do what I do, and you know, there's certain things you can do without the bike, and that's being in the gym, so I've been doing that and just trying to keep myself ready to go for X Games. A lot of guys just go pound laps and laps and laps and laps, and they forget the gym, or they forget the yoga, or they forget the food, or, you know, there's so many pieces to this. It's not just have a fast bike and go. There's a lot more to it. I started in March. I didn't start in October for a November event. I have a gym in the basement. I don't like to go and do my stuff in the public generally, because what I do probably looks silly to most people, and it's quite extreme. So I do train in a full-on wetsuit, and then I wear this respirator while I'm doing my spin class and while I do my cardio. It's all you can do in 1 hour. It's a race. So when I start, the gate drops, I'm in the race, and it's for 1 hour, and I want to see how long I can keep my heart rate up as high as I can go. So if you can sustain 170 and up over the course of 1 hour, that's pretty tough. You're probably in pretty decent shape. So in the gym, I can get my heart rate up to 217 beats a minute. On the bike, I can get up to 221, has been my top. I also wear a heart rate monitor, so I know everything. I always have measurable results.
Most people think the motor pulls you around on your bike, but really, you're out there for 30 minutes grinding away a moto, and it's tough. Like the training, all the cardio, all the weightlifting, you need to be able to control a bike, put it exactly where you need to put it, and like pinpoint locations all throughout a moto while you're being chased by 40 other bikes.
On average, on a motocross day in the summer, it'd be about 1,800 to 2,700 calories that you'll burn. My programming is a lot of cardio, endurance. So I don't do much weight training. I am 215 pounds. The diet that's required to compete at the level of the best in the world in snow biking, it's a lot. So my wife is a big part of that.
Yeah, plant-based diet, let's do that. No thanks. I like my protein. Not getting protein. She's doing very well with it. She says she feels better, but she also started going to the gym right about the time she started plant-based, so I'm wondering, is it actually the gym or is it the plant-based diet?
We're back eating properly, more focused on where we're going, setting the goals, right, step by step, kind of a month at a time, kind of breaking it into bits and pieces so that we can, you know, hit our targets. I make the meals generally. My daughters help out a little bit. And then we just kind of go from there. He's monitoring all of his food on an app, and so he's able to kind of keep track of that. And the rest of it is basically in my head.
Yeah, so we're just about at Jimmy Fredrickson's place, a fellow that's been training me off and on for the last 10 years. And right shortly we'll be pulling in, and he's sold his gym and he's doing some home stuff now, so we'll be working out of a barn. It's the way we like to do it. Jim Fredrickson and myself go back a long ways, and you know, I had been on the racing scene since '84. I believe he came around, you know, 10 or 12 years later.
He was a seasoned pro by the time I got in there, and then I was the young guy that was, you know, taking guys out.
Jimmy was just Jimmy, and he would try and put his front tire in places it shouldn't go and crash himself out, and I would laugh and I would cruise on by if he was battling with somebody else.
And then we kind of just stayed as enemies really on the track for a long time.
You know, we've had some history where we run into each other and we probably hated each other at one time. It's a pretty strong word and I don't use it often, but we probably hated each other at one time.
As we grew up and got older, you know, yeah, we just became friends, and we've been friends ever since.
That's the difference in a 200-pound guy and a 140-pound guy, right? I needed 3 motos to warm up. He could go right out of the gate.
Yeah, I was a hummingbird. Yeah, I came out of the gate hard, no.
He has a heart of gold and he's out there to help people out, but not am I going to just crush him to the point where, you know, this is now somebody I can manipulate through the gym. This is somebody I'm going to take, and I'm going to take him to the levels he wants to go to, and even further than that.
Putting together a program is really not just as simple as doing exercise. I mean, any athlete that's trying to progress or make it to the top of any sport is going to have a lot of people in his corner. You're going to need a lot of good people around you. 2, good. There's so many variables to, you know, training one athlete versus the next. So with age, it's very similar. There's a lot of different things you're looking for. You know, as stubborn as he is, he's still aging, right? So, I mean, he's definitely going against the traditional thought process of what can be done at that age, but he can do it because he's investing in himself and, you know, putting a lot of time into stretching, mobility, nutrition, sleep, spiritual health, physical health. Like it all comes together, right? We're kind of taking advantage of the whole, you know, put him in a hypoxic environment, right, to help force the adaptation of endurance. Basically what I'm doing is I'm basically starving his body of oxygen, and then when he can't take it any longer, right, I got him like 21,000 feet, and then I basically flash him with pure oxygen. So then when he nods me, then I'm gonna give him oxygen. This generator here makes altitude air. It'll fill this bag of basically the equivalent of 21,000 feet altitude. When he's depleting and he can't take it no longer, then I'll flash him with oxygen to keep him going. It helps us to be able to, you know, take a good chunk out of him today and then have him bounce out of here. Like he'll walk out of here with a jump to his step, you know what I mean? Whereas normally it would take hours to start feeling good again. 7, 8, 9, there's a lot different approach to building a beginner athlete as to someone who's been, you know, he's been an athlete his whole life. He probably would have been a professional hockey player had he stuck with hockey. The bottom left, that's the percentage of my power, right? If I do another rep and go slower, okay, so see I'm 39% of my max power. 1178 is my max power. So you're always trying to train above 85% with athletes, right? So you're always knowing what the intensity is. So you're not just going by feel, you're going by fact. Rather than me going, oh, you win, let's go, you push him through. You have no feedback to know whether he's actually recovering. It's not going to benefit the athlete to continue through junk sets or garbage sets. Get him doing regenerative exercise, you know, something that's going to help him recover, not making him go through the workout, right? And that's just the reality, is that so many people will just continually push through and it really doesn't benefit them, so.
You know, things happen so fast. Your body only reacts so fast. Things don't work right. We get what's called arm pump, and so basically what that is it's your arm will actually pump up on you and it won't release the blood. You can't hang on to your motorcycle. And when you're jumping 65 or 85 feet or 100 feet over a triple or a double jump, then you better make sure you can hang on to that thing. And so if you can't hang on properly and you can't get your body in the right position when you're coming over the face of it, it's an accident.
With his body weight to power ratio, that's a disadvantage for Justin. That's why Justin's got to work so hard to get his weight down. His body wants to sit at 218. To get him into the 190, you know, is going to be a lot of discipline. He's going to have to cut calories, he's going to have to work hard, and that makes the workouts that much more challenging. So in motocross, like that 140, 135 to 155 is kind of the sweet spot, right? So those guys have a lot better body weight to power ratio. 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, flies. 2. For him, it's going to be about getting his body weight down, getting him more mobile, more efficient. That's why we're doing so much mobility work, and it's all about his recovery, his ability to sustain intense exercise. Because motocross and snow biking is your heart rate goes up into the red zone and it stays there the whole time. It's like steady, heavy, hard workload the whole time. And then when you're fatigued, you have to have control over that motorcycle when you're fatigued. So many people don't understand motocross. They think you're sitting down, twisting the throttle. It's exactly the opposite. All that force is going through the balls of your feet and your heart rate's jacked. If you ever jump rope, you know how quick your heart rate goes up? It's like that, but now you've got adrenaline, you've got, you know, all these other factors, and you're making decisions on a split second. And if you make a mistake, you're gonna get hurt. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Come on. 8, 9, 10. Good. 5 seconds.
The man is in incredible physical condition today for a guy his age. He's probably as fit as any professional athlete that you'd find in any sport.
He gets up at like 4 in the morning to go work out most days, with my mom too, but like there's such a huge level of dedication. I think he'll qualify for the X Games for sure.
My expectations are that I don't feel that there should be an issue with qualifying. The chances are that I can win.
I don't even know what else to say. Thank you for everyone that was behind me and helping me out over the years. I said it was my last year. It ended a lot sooner than I wanted it to. And it looks like I'm heading back to work.
Good. Wow, dude, I've never seen that before. That's incredible. So this motor mount right here, there was so much torque when that rod broke, it busted one motor mount bolt, and it actually pulled the whole bottom end of the case half away, still attached to the motor mount. What I did was I set up a track out in the mountains. So yeah, landed off this double and it was a little bit soft, so I clicked the gear and ran the throttle wide open just to get the traction to the ground, and just the torque from the motor when I landed. Like the rod just snapped at that time. I know it's the rod because I've got it in pieces in my van there. Broke both halves of my case, dropped all my antifreeze and oil out, and then had to get towed out of the mountains. I'm going to Colorado 10 days early so I can get at least 2 or 3 more days on the bike and do some elevation training and then flush my system out.
It really is like, it's the hardest sport. I've done them all. You're racing at like 9,000 feet. There's a lot. It takes a lot of gas to walk up the hill to go get to staging, never mind to get around the track for 15 minutes.
I'm not out riding in minus 30. I'm a bit of a fair weather rider. And not only that, but you can't test to the levels of what it is that are required without a track. My goal today is to see if I can't make that bike over there actually run. This is my 2017. The motor's been apart. I put it back together. For whatever reason, it wouldn't fire up. And I got to pull some motor parts from this bike, put them into this bike. I'm going to try and make one out of two and make the best of it. And if I can do that, I'll jump back in my van and head back to Colorado. It's only another 17 hours, right? Just blitz that off like that. I've got to put my clutch pack back in this bike. I've got to put exhaust on it. I've got to swap out my swing arm, my forks, my whole snow bike kit itself. I need some motor parts out of this motor to go in that motor if they're any good, because this motor's done. So yeah, it's cut into my training time immensely. I'm not at the gym or doing yoga or cycling or riding. There's no replacement for time on the bike. I could do nothing at the gym and just ride, and you'd probably be better off. I've driven a total of 3,588.4, and I got about 20 minutes on the bike, so yeah, I'm ready to go. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? Not sure what just happened in my kickstart mechanism. Wow. This is my life. Why me? This is where I thought I'd be having an issue, so why do you want to do this to me? I've got one bike down on the ground that fires if I only add fuel to it. I've swapped over all the electrical components as well as the fuel components, and I still have the same issue. Not sure. Yeah.
So the X Games, there's the pro class. Justin would have to qualify in the pro class to make it to X Games, and then he would race.
The Snowmass Colorado course is a professionally groomed track at a similar elevation to the actual X Games track. It's designed to challenge the top contenders in the world of snow bike cross. Throughout the race days, there are numerous heats, and the top 3 riders from each day will go on to receive an invite to X Games.
We got it bolted back together about 8:30, 9 o'clock. We ended up loading up the van, driving straight through to Snowmass here, so we didn't get the 10 days practice in that we would like to got. We did get the bike going. We come up here to practice. We're just about ready to go up to the line, and my turbo bob's leaking. So my wife runs down to the pits, picked up our stock one, brought it back up here, and a few friends helped me out. We pulled it all apart, got up to the line, and went out for practice, and practice went pretty well. You know, I was the guy at riders meeting, said, okay, well, you know, we don't have a gate here, which we don't ever so far yet, and that's one of the things I'm trying to push for in the snow bike races is that we do have a gate, especially for X Games, because it's the pinnacle of what we're doing in our sport. One of the things you're not able to do is creep the line or leave ahead of the other bikes. And so unfortunately, because I just rebuilt my motor and put a brand new clutch in it, if you don't have your brake on, your bike can creep forward. Well, the rule is that if your bike creeps across the line before the flag goes up as a start, you have to go then in behind one of the other riders and start in the second row. So here I am, not only with the challenges of, motor issues, traveling 60 hours now, so I put on 6,000 kilometers. We get to the line thinking I'm feeling pretty good from practice, and I'm the guy that creeps the line and ends up having to go and start behind in the second row. But with the weather setting in, it just, I think lack of sleep, some frustrations. The motos weren't as organized as I thought they were going to be, and it's no fault of anyone's. There's just a lack of communication. So I didn't have the best day, but we weren't injured. The bike stayed together, and so we're here. It's a new day. The sun looks like it's going to pop out, and hopefully we can lay down some good laps today and see what happens.
As well as the main heats, there was also a last chance qualifier, or LCQ. This is a bit of a free-for-all, where the riders are placed in 2 rows, based on their accumulated points in the other heats from the day.
Today turned out to be a lot better day. I had a really good start in my first heat and passed a few guys and ended up finishing up second. So that was a great run. Second moto went out, and unfortunately I was a few seconds short of making it into the main for that. I went out for the LCQ, had a terrible start. Running through the LCQ and having to start in the second row wasn't really, where my mind was at. I'm 35 years older, and the guy that finished second in the main here, so hats off to Troy Harbatti and his group and his dad. Pretty awesome to see the young group coming through like that. He's a local kid from Manitoba, and hats off to him for doing that. And so, yeah, great day. It's a good group of people. We're all basically family, and it's a lot of fun.
Justin is at his best when he has a goal and when he's working towards something and he's passionate about it. So qualifying for the X Games, I don't see this as being a make or break situation.
The X Games thing, and this is the difference in myself and maybe some of the younger guys out there, I'm not looking to create this as something where I need to go and get an income out of it. It would obviously be nice if I had a little bit more support in what I love to do and I'm passionate about, and I would love to carry this on for years.
I personally love riding with older guys and somebody who's experienced. You can learn a lot from them.
Maybe you're coaching some riders, which I do coach some young kids and have done very well at Loretta Lynn's, which is one of the largest amateur races in North America.
I first met Justin, I think it was in Grunthal at a race. And ever since then, he's taken us all over the country, all over North America. He's the main reason I'm where I am now.
So I feel good about some of the things I've been able to give back to the sport and the motocross side, and maybe that's going to now transpire into the snow bike side. It's so new here in specifically Manitoba. 4 or 5 years ago, you would go to a shack up at Revelstoke and you would see 0 snow bikes. 2 years ago when I went there, there would have been, 15 snowmobiles and 4 or 5 bikes. Last year when I was there, there's 20 sleds, there's 20 bikes. So my understanding is from the industry is that it's the fastest growing sport in the world, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
You guys been on this before?
No, first time.
Right on.
I've been racing pro for the last 3 years, but
So one thing I'm going to say is
When you're up there, make sure you check your airbox. So if the bike can't breathe, it won't go anywhere.
If it's full of snow, you just
clear it out and you're ripping again, man.
Sweet.
Yeah. Make sure your tether is connected. This guarantees the bike shuts off if you fail. If you do have to flip it, just make sure your tether is disconnected. That way the bike's guaranteed to be shut off. Roll it this way.
Okay.
Sweet, man. Just pull up here.
I'll follow you.
He's so passionate about it. It's inspirational, honestly, and it makes me want to be the same way in a different aspect, I guess.
Regardless, he will carry on doing something, always working towards something.
There's a lot of detours, but if you're that passionate, there's no roadblocks. So it's not about what you can't do, it's what you can do, and that's in any capacity in life. And I've applied that to all of what I've done in my life. So yeah, the one thing that you just want to keep an eye on or be wary of is that on a street bike or even on a motorbike, when you stop, automatically you put your foot down, right?
Yeah.
So as opposed to doing that on the snow bike, when you pull up to stop somewhere, just blip the throttle quick and drop the clutch and it'll make a little wee bit of a trench and you can just sit there on the bike.
Okay.
So you're getting the hang of it a bit, Sam, or what?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I think I might have
See,
to
I
move out
always
here.
want to go to stand up. You'll find you just want to try to sit back more.
Yeah.
Stay down.
I stood up
It's
and
not a
I
stand up.
almost went over the bars.
Yeah, and you're.
Oh, it's a hell of a lot heavier. That was the first thing I definitely noticed.
Heavier, yeah.
Definitely.
And then you don't really turn it, right? You actually just lean the bike over, especially on the trail. And that's one of the things that's really tricky because, you know, on a street bike, it's easy. You got the gyro over the front wheel too, which isn't there. And that's a big deal, especially when you're jumping these things. So when you jump them, they want to, you know, wheelie up basically, right?
This, even when you're just putting along, you have to lean it over.
Yeah. I figured it was about a 2-hour transition for me to actually say, okay, I get it. Because I thought, why did I come out here to race the Nationals? I'd never raced one of these things. I bolted it together. We had no snow. I'd never even seen a snow bike. And I signed up to come race the Canadian Nationals.
Pretty good. You got third.
I got third in pro and won the mod class.
Yep, sir. You'll figure it all out.
It happens to the best of us. Even those racer guys crash.
Holy wow. Wow. And then I high-sided. I missed shift, so it didn't take off. Then I shifted because I didn't want you to get away. I've never ever high-sided one of these things. I was squirreled. It's all on camera.
That's perfect.
There's a lot of things that are out of our control, but there's certain things that are in your control. There's no roadblocks. It's just detours.